Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cover True Crime. And I can't say it's an extra report today because what we're going to be doing is a recap into Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup Season 2 that just recently aired on Monday. Now, a lot of people are giving Lifetime flack because they are in support of a convicted murderer. And they also do not want to support the show because the show stars the convicted murderer, Gypsy Rose. So for all of those who don't want to support the show but do want to know what's going on, please stay tuned. I got you covered. Let's begin.
I need more like cute pajamas. Something yesterday. It's not sexy. Never in a million years would I ever thought I would live in the state of Louisiana, but life happens and here I am now. All right, so ultrasound, 2 o'clock. Yes. We gotta leave at 1.
So as you can see, the episode begins in Ken's house, where he states that he never imagined himself living in Louisiana, yet here he is. And it looks like what it might be a typical morning for Ken and Gypsy as they are getting ready. It appears to be an appointment at 2 o'clock. They have an appointment for Gypsy Rose has a GYN appointment to check up on the baby, and I believe she gets her first ultrasound today. And that is when the producer asks her, "Where are you with your piece with Ryan?" And you can just imagine what she begins to say. She says that she feels guilty for hurting him and, typical GRB stuff and blah, blah, and blah, 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 blah.
As much as I'm trying to live my life and be happy, of course, from time to time, that guilt is going to weigh on my conscience.
Blah, blah, blah. This is the same woman that uses and discards people once she's done with them, who went to prison for unaliving her mother, yet said she was fine and she didn't need any counseling. But she walks around with a heavy heart and such guilt.
Mr. Stay Up All Night.
Here we cut to the scene where they get in the car, getting ready to go to Gypsy Rose's GYN appointment to see the baby, and Gypsy Rose starts like this bickering argument about Ken staying up all night, reading comments and being on his phone. And you can tell that she's saying this in a joking manner, but deep down she is so bothered about it. Somebody is panini press. But that's all this was about. Then they cut to Rod Blanchard, Gypsy's dad, where he states about Gypsy's pregnancy that he was not at all surprised because Rod and even the whole world knew that Gypsy Rose always wanted a baby. She always tried to get pregnant, even with her previous boyfriend, Nick Godejohn. Immediately after Rod, Christy, Gypsy's stepmother, chimes in and says she's just so excited. She can't wait to go shopping and see the baby's crib set up. And then comes the baby. And then comes her she used a particular weird word, armitis, something like that, where the baby is going to be rocking in her arms all the time. And I believe that, Christy.
Weeks of Gypsy. She's 16 weeks in like 3 days. That's tall. Is it gonna fit inside? Gypsy FaceTimed me to tell me that she was pregnant. I was trying so hard not to cry on the phone. And I don't know why, I was just super emotional, disappointed, happy, but like worried all at once. But I'm happy with whatever she wants to do. Alright, watch out for the ceiling, okay.
So here they cut into the gender reveal party that is being set up and arranged by Gypsy Rose's family, and Mia shows her disappointment in Gypsy Rose getting pregnant and stating that she is worried, and she speaks for all the minds of those in the public. We are all worried. While everyone does everything around, and Gypsy Rose get to sit her funky ass cooling off on a cooler just screaming. Still at the gender reveal party, Rod, Gypsy's dad, and Ken Urker's father end up chopping it up as they meet together as a family. Then Dad Euchre gets to speak on how he came about hearing about Gypsy Rose and his son Ken Urker's relationship, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe that they had 3, 4, 5 hour conversations on the phone at a time. I don't know who told him those lies, but there's only like 15 minutes per every phone call for inmate phones. So I don't know where these 3 and 4 hours came about, but yeah, this is what Father Erker says. And it's only right that now that they're pregnant, that you got to unite as a family.
This is his first child as well.
Okay.
So I just don't know what to expect throughout everything.
You were telling me that this is sort of a reconnection. Can you explain what the relationship is like back then, maybe? I just saw her documentary and it was just like really just like heart shattering. It was really sad to see what she had gone through. I'd never written a letter to anyone.
So somehow Gypsy Rose convinces Ken that they should go to prenatal counseling. And all of this stuff we already know because we've seen clips of this throughout the year with Gypsy posting on her social media. So due to patient confidentiality, we're just going to say Gypsy and Ken go on to spew soliloquies on their first time meeting and how the relationship dissolves. So Ken begins to say, yeah, it was just, I never wrote to anyone in my life. And I just decided to write to Gypsy because her story just sound and look so heartbreaking. What was heartbreaking, Ken? Please tell me. The pictures of her with dolphins, the many pictures of her with celebrities and having royal mashed potatoes in Disney, the pictures of her with her costumes. Which one of her costumes did it look heartbreaking? It wasn't the fact that she was in prison for the murder of her own mother, right? So then the counselor goes on to proceed and ask Gypsy what is her end goal and what does she wish to accomplish with getting, prenatal counseling services. And Gypsy says that she would like to have better communication with Ken because there are communication barriers, whereas Ken likes to remove himself from an argument, as to where Ken says that that's not true, that Ken will try to come up with resolutions and Gypsy will just click, hang up the phone. So it was pretty interesting. But yeah.
Just because, I know there's been a lot of change for him. And I feel like I haven't been sensitive to that.
Okay.
So, I feel like I don't want to put him in any sort of a negative headspace. And I don't want him to have resentment towards me for how fast everything moved. Like I told him, I don't want him to stay because of the baby. I want him to want this relationship to work.
Once again, Gypsy then debuts her dried napkin tears and her acting nominee, where she pretend cries and says that she just doesn't want to put Ken in a bad headspace with everything moving so fast and them now being pregnant and having a baby. She just don't want him to have any resentment feelings towards her. And I found it very, very interesting that she would say that, because who would say something like that to their partner when this should be a joyful time that you two are expecting a new baby, unless you were expecting a baby and you trapped your man with this baby. So Ken then takes Gypsy home and they do a video call where there's this storm warning and evacuation warning where Gypsy says they're not leaving and Ken says, well, if you die, don't say anything. And she's like, well, I can't because I'll be dead. And you just continue to see Christy laid out on a couch because she isn't feeling so well. And you can see Gypsy's mean mug because I'm just assuming that she's reading, comments about her and she's just, trolling the internet and commenting on her quote unquote haters posts.
Hey guys, it's me, Ryan. Just want to say a couple things. Guys, to be honest, I'm probably not going to bash Gypsy. That's my wife. There's been a couple mean comments. I'm just not going to do it. I will tell my side, but as far as just being disrespectful to her, I just can't do it, guys. But I love the hashtag Team Ryan. That's just unbelievable to me. So I just want to tell you guys thanks again.
And we get to see old pathetic Ryan, who is a disappointment to his family because he just can't let go of a mommy murderer. But this is back when there was Team Ryan and we all was rooting for him before he just kept showing his true colors and his arrogance and the fact that he is a school teacher and he is, still confessing his love for this woman who did him so wrong. It went from sad to pathetic.
So, we got approved for the house.
Okay.
We can move in October 1st.
You can move it.
I can move in October 1st. Parker will have a yard?
So also in this episode, there was about maybe 7 seconds worth of video of Gypsy and Ken going house hunting that led up to this scene on a couch where Ken finds out they just were approved for this house. And many of us already knew that Gypsy purchased a house, and here's a confirmation on the show. Then Gypsy Rose ends up talking to producers about a phone call that she got from her attorney about the divorce being finalized soon. And she goes on to say that this is something she has been waiting for because Ryan, as they have conversations, that they have to have conversation, obviously, until the divorce is finalized, he seems to have like a glimpse of hope, long as they're still married, that she is going to get back with him. And this divorce being finalized will relinquish that feeling so that he can move on and heal.
Feels like a lifetime.
Ken came to visit me for the first time in Chillicothe, and we had been writing for about 4 months. We weren't writing in a romantic way. We're just friends. And all of a sudden, he looked at me, and then he leans over and just kisses me.
Towards the end of this episode, Gypsy and Ken takes a drive in the car because it's their anniversary to go to a fancy dinner. Now, this is to me, is the highlight of this episode, where you can see some form of tension building between Gypsy and Ken, where they're at this restaurant and they're ordering, and Ken orders the appetizers, which is some octopus and a blue crab salad, and Gypsy is hesitant about the octopus and she doesn't want to try it because she's afraid of octopus. But Ken, says, hey, try it, and she really dislikes it, and she does hanker down and eats it. He says it's delicious. She doesn't agree, and it just goes from there. As you're gonna see, something is wrong. So the waiter comes back, is everything good? Ken's like, yeah, it's great. And she goes on to say, it's just not for me. I'm afraid of octopus. And the waiter then goes and brings the blue crab salad. Now, I don't know if they had, their main course after this because they don't show it. But Ken proceeds to give Gypsy some of the blue crab salad. He tells her that there's watermelon and tomato and crab in there. And I don't think she wants to try it. But she goes on and has him make a plate, and she's playing in the food. And he's like, well, if you just don't want to eat it, don't eat it. So she doesn't eat it, but you can tell she's visibly upset. And he's upset because she just, I don't know. I can't tell you if she didn't eat anything at the restaurant, but she just continues to watch him eat, and he doesn't look happy about it. So the waiter comes back and asks, so how was the blue crab salad this time around? Is this one better? She's like, it was great. And Ken puts her on blast and says, she's lying to you. She doesn't want to eat it. And, the waiter comes to Gypsy's defense. Well, everything isn't for everybody. But Ken is upset that Gypsy doesn't want to eat. Is this the reason why she has been losing an excessive amount of weight? I don't know. Gypsy excuses herself and goes to the bathroom, and there's some sniffling. Is she really crying? I know that whole scene was really awkward, and I don't know what it was about. Post your comments down below and tell me what you think. But it proceeds to get much, much worse.
So, are you excited about the house?
Yes, are you?
I am. You love it?
Mm-hmm.
you think we're gonna be able to make that house a home
Yeah.
for the family?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good place for you and the baby.
What about you?
You know, I can't live there yet.
You can't live there, but you can still make that house your home. We'll figure that out together.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is going on, guys? Why does Gypsy look like she's about to have a heart attack? I don't know what is going on at table number 5, but maybe it's the pregnancy hormones that she have. Maybe she's upset because she purchased this house with her own money that now her boyfriend and the baby get to live in without her. Like, I don't know. And she's just in her pregnancy bag. What do you guys think? But this was so awkward.
I took the sign down and realized it's still there, like her name's still there. It left a burn mark in my wall. I mean, it's kind of like, it's kind of symbolic of like how she left.
And the episode ends there with simp number 1, Ryan Anderson, pretty much showing you and telling you that he can't accept the fact that Gypsy Rose used him and discarded him like garbage. But we can't feel sorry for Ryan anymore because he chooses to be in denial. So someone please call 911. But that's about it, guys. Like I said, the life after lockup isn't really anything worth watching. Everything that's on that is going to be airing on these episodes was already played out on social media by Gypsy Rose. But if you would like to watch the show, you guys know where to watch it. I'm not going to promote it. But if you guys don't want to support the Mommy Schmurderer Gypsy Rose or Lifetime for supporting the Mommy Schmurderer, then you guys are stuck with me where I will be doing these recaps long as I don't get in trouble with copyright strikes every week. So I look forward to that. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Consider joining the cover crew. I would love to have you here, and I appreciate you all. As always, please take care of yourself and be safe. Bye.